Hello, good morning, happy Tuesday. I am excited to be here with you all live today. We're kicking off a mini series this week and next week on the 6 ways to create a comfortable and supportive postpartum recovery space before baby arrives. And for those who are new in my little corner of the internet, I want to introduce myself. My name is Jessie Sletton, and I am your postpartum empowerment coach. I own Empowering Postpartum, and I help parents feel as calm, confident, and prepared for their life with their newborn and their transition into parenthood as they do for their birth. I find that so many of us, myself included with my first pregnancy, feel really prepared for birth. Yeah, we might have the nerves, we're anxious, we're scared, we're excited for the birth, but we feel prepared. We've got our birth preferences figured out. We know who our birth team is. We've got our ideal birthing scenarios figured out, and maybe even some plan Bs figured out as well. But then when it comes to our postpartum time frame, so many of us are like deers in the headlights. Like we are either so overwhelmed with even where to start that we don't begin, or we are focused on all the things we think will help us in the postpartum time frame, like figuring out, stocking our freezer full of cheesy casserole dishes and making 50 padsicles so that we're prepared for our postpartum healing. And then when the time comes, we figure out, oh my gosh, that wasn't exactly the things that we really should have been focusing on. What we should be focusing on is how to heal our bodies from the inside out. Who are our support teams and our support systems that we can put in place now so that we feel like we have a village that is surrounding us? We always hear that. It takes a village to raise a child. Okay, where's the village? It's kind of missing in our society right now. But not only does it take a village to raise a kiddo, it also takes a village to help support a birthing parent and a family as a whole. And we need these systems and these supports put into place and recognized and figured out before baby gets here, because otherwise we're already drowning with our head under the water and we're flailing around trying to find these resources and these supports when our mind just is not present. And that's not where we want to be. We want to be in preventative mode. We want to be on the defense here, folks, okay? So that's what we're going to be focusing on in our mini series today. It's all going to be about creating the sanctuary where you can retreat to after birth to really focus on bonding with your little one and focus on really helping your body heal by having this convenient space surrounding you, that you have what you need and you can focus on your recovery and your bonding time frame. So that's what we're going to be doing today. And if you see me looking up and down, I am going live on both Facebook and Instagram. Don't have a fancy streaming service. I just use my phone and my laptop. So that's why I'm looking up and down. I want to make sure I'm giving everybody equal love. And if you have any questions while we're doing this live training, feel free to drop those. If I don't see them, because I'm trying to focus on teaching and kind of navigating both platforms, then I promise I will circle around and answer any questions you might have. Feel free to comment as well, like, oh, that was an aha moment, or I hadn't thought about that, or here's a couple other ideas I might have or that I'm incorporating into my recovery space. Sharing is caring, so let's make sure we are spreading the wealth and giving ideas and thoughts so that other people who are watching this can benefit from those wonderful ideas as well. So today's topic is going to be about actually finding the right place to set up your recovery room. And I know it might seem kind of obvious, well, I'm just planning on doing my bedroom. That's beautiful, that's great, that's an awesome option. That's what I ended up doing for my recovery time frame, but it doesn't have to be the only place. There's other locations in your home that can serve really well or might even serve better than your bedroom, depending on where it's located. So if you happen to have a multi-story home and you know that you're going to be having a cesarean birth, okay, or you don't know and you end up having a cesarean birth, sometimes we can benefit from having a recovery space that's on the first level of the home. And this is all to do with the fact that you don't want to be climbing stairs multiple times a day to, recover and to bond with your baby. I want you to focus on lying in as much as possible, creating a space that is convenient, that has everything that you need so that you don't have to move very much from this location. Okay, so if you do end up needing to create your space on a higher level in your home, that's totally fine. My bedroom's on the second floor and I had my recovery space in my bedroom. But the thing with that is that you want to make sure that you pick one level of your home to stay in and to stay put for the day as much as you can, as much as possible. So this is one where you're going to really be leaning on our support systems. And this is why it's so important that we spend that time curating our postpartum support village so we know who can help us with things that might need to be attended to while we are focused on our recovery. That is your number one priority, is recovering from your birthing wounds, nourishing your own body, and spending the time with your baby and your partner and bonding as a family, okay? It is not your to-do list. It is not the cleaning. It is not walking the dog and all these other things that you feel like you have to do because you've always just done them. We want to throw that out the window and we want to go back to the drawing board and figure out delegation, figure out who can help with what, and what can you honestly just let go of for a while. So back to our topic at hand though, is creating this recovery space. So you're going to find a location in your home that you are going to create your little nest, your recovery space. And I want you to really focus in on location, like I said before, and really figuring out what you need to have in that space to be as comfortable as possible. So really finding the right place that's going to hit all of these important pieces is really the name of the game. We want functionality, we want convenience, and we want comfort in our recovery space. Now, in the next coming trainings and videos, we're going to dive in deeper about how do we create that functionality and what should we have in our recovery space and what are some of my top tips for ensuring that you are able to really focus in on being the most comfortable that you can be, because your body's energy is going to be going all in on healing your birthing wounds. And if you are choosing to chest feed your baby, it's going to be focused on maintaining your milk supply and doing all these things. So we want to make sure we're setting up our recovery space in a way that's going to support that process and make it as easy as possible for your baby. I'm laughing because I don't know if you guys can hear my dog. She's snoring right now. She's sitting right next to me. So if you hear that in the background, that's what that noise is. It's my doggo Luna snoring her little furry snout off. Just going to take a quick second to see if anybody has joined me and has questions. Because sometimes I get really in the zone of doing these trainings and I end up not seeing the questions. So I don't think I have any yet, which is totally fine. We can grab those on the way out, or if you have them later on, you can always drop them below too. I will be posting this in all the places to catch the replay. So if you aren't joining me live, then you can always rewatch this later and drop your questions and comments below. I will see them and I will circle back around and make sure that they are answered for you. But one of the things I wanted to share about the space and really finding the best location for that is one of my favorite postpartum recovery rules. And I've done a whole training on this before. So scroll back through my feed, or if you're in my group, because I'm going live in my Facebook group as well, I have this saved as another training that you can find. But this is the 5-5-5 recovery rule. And this is a really easy way to kind of keep in mind about your recovery time frame and movement in postpartum. So I've already talked about really kind of trying to avoid the stairs too much. In early postpartum, we want to ease back into movement after birth. Birth is trauma to our bodies, no matter how we birth. We could have the easiest, most, least complicated birth and still have a plate-sized wound to heal within our uterus. So, and it just gets more and more compounded the more interventions we might have to have during the laboring process, all the way up to having to have a emergency cesarean birth. These are major traumas to our body. Our body is needing to spend all its energy on healing those wounds. And so the old adage of getting up and moving as soon as you can after birth is complete BS. I want you to throw that out of your mind and not ever look back, because that is terrible advice. It's really going to prolong your healing and your recovery if you push yourself too much too soon. We don't need to be buying into this snap back, bounce back culture bullshit, okay? We are focusing on healing and nourishing our body. We do not need to shed the baby weight right away and all of this stuff that is so pressured on us as birthing people in our, Western society. We don't need that. It's not healthy. It's not what we actually need to be focusing on. And I want you to really work on trying to replace those pressures and those priorities with actually things that matter. Bonding with your little one, healing your body, nourishing your body, replenishing your body. It's all about self-love, body love, really caring and nurturing for yourself. Okay? Mothering the mother, nurturing the nurturer. That is your goal. And creating this recovery space is going to help with that. And the 5-5-5 rule is really 5 days in the bed, 5 days on the bed, and 5 days near the bed. So when we have a postpartum recovery space that's really conducive to this supportive, convenient, functional idea, this can make it way easier to try to adhere to this rule. And this is just kind of a guideline. Honestly, if we could and if life would allow, having longer time frames spread out by 2 weeks of this 5-5-5 rule, or more. It is about 2 weeks with the 5-5-5 rule. But if you could extend that even more, the better. But in our modern society, sometimes we don't have that luxury of having longer periods of time, like the 40 days of healing that a lot of other cultures adhere to. But if we can at least do these 5 days of in the bed, on the bed, and near the bed, you're going to really see your healing and recovery time shorten. And when we have a recovery space that makes this easier to do, where we actually enjoy being in there and we have what we need and we're comfortable and we, have our snacks and all these other things we're going to talk about in the coming trainings, then it makes it more possible for us to do that. And when I say 5 days in the bed, I mean like you really are only getting up to use the bathroom, and that's about it. You're lying in with your baby. You're learning how to, if you're choosing to chest feed, you're learning how to do that process, learning your baby's cues, figuring out latching, figuring out what feeding positions work best for you. And even if you're not, you're still figuring out your baby's hunger cues. You're figuring out which bottles they prefer, which, formula works best for their little bellies. You're figuring out all this stuff in your bed or in your chair, whichever is most comfortable for you that you have in your recovery space. Next week, we're going to talk about investing in those things. But then the next 5 days after that is around your bed. So you can get up a little bit more, very gentle movements, breathing, a little bit of gentle stretching, those kind of things. But really, you're staying near the bed. And you can look back at this training. I give a lot more examples and stuff in the previous training that I've done on this. But then the following 5 days is around the bed. So you're going to be able to go around the room a little bit more. You can maybe venture out to the kitchen or stay within the home, the confines of the home, and really kind of letting your body still have the main focus of rest, recovery, hydration, and nutrition. So that's just a brief rundown, but be sure to check out that other video because I give a lot of information in that training. But when we have the supportive functional space, it's so much easier to have these lie-in focuses for us, for our healing and for our bonding with our little one. So this is really just the tip of the iceberg with what we really need to be focusing on for postpartum recovery, right? This is just one tiny sliver. in the whole spectrum of postpartum strategy and really learning how to care for ourselves and our changed body on a cellular level, and our shifting identity, and all of these things that are really complex ways of transformation after birth. And if you are looking to have more support and just really feeling like you have exactly what you need when you need it after bringing baby home, and feeling confident and prepared in how to heal your body from the inside out, and feeling secure and connected with your partner, knowing you can face the hurdles of newborn life together and understand what each other needs to stay grounded before the overwhelm sets in, or when it does, you know how to pull yourself back out of that hole together, and really feeling prepared with how to feed your infant and what your goals are, and how you know how to care for your newborn baby. And if things go unexpected, who to turn to and what to do, and the resources that you need to get back on track with your infant care and feeding goals. And really, this is a big one, feeling mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually nourished enough to be connected and present with your little one through this really fleeting time. If this is all sounding like exactly what you want for your postpartum time frame, then this is exactly what you get in my P4 program. So this is my little baby, my beautiful program that I have been working on for a very long time. And P4 stands for the postpartum, or Preparing for Parenthood Postpartum Planning Program. So that's why I call it P4, because it's a bit of a mouthful, but it's exactly as it says. We're going to be preparing you for parenthood and really planning holistically everything I just said for your postpartum time frame, so that you can feel like you actually are thriving in postpartum and not just barely surviving it. So if this sounds like something you're interested in learning more about, I want to encourage you to schedule a free coffee chat with me. We sit down over Zoom, drinking our favorite beverage, just relaxing, talking about your perinatal journey so far, your experiences, your hopes, your dreams, your goals for your life with baby. And we talk about how this program really can help you achieve those things and achieve that vision, and giving you actually tangible things that you can fall back on, and strategies and support for you to make this happen and to feel really successful and supported and seen and heard and in control as much as possible with your postpartum journey. So schedule a call with me. You can find that link in my bio. I've opened up some availability for these trainings and stuff, so I have a little bit more time dedicated to these calls. So I'm so excited to connect with you. And if you're curious about anything at all that I offer, you can always schedule one of these calls with me, and we can chat about, which path might be best for you. But to give you a little bit of a sneak peek, you're going to be a good fit, I can tell. So anyway, that's all I've got for you guys today for our first training for how to create a comfortable, functional, convenient, beautiful recovery space. And I am excited to see you for day 2 on Thursday. We're going to be diving into really, investing in this space, a comfortable bed and a comfortable chair, and why that's so important, and why you probably need both of these in your space. We're going to dive into all of that. So I'm looking forward to seeing you all then. Drop your questions and comments below, and be sure to schedule some time with me. For those folks on our Facebook platforms, I have also put that link in the comments, so it's easy for you to just click on. For those on Instagram, see my bio and you can schedule some time with me. All right, folks, we'll see you soon. Thanks.